Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Astrology Chat for October 19th, 2023. The keys for today are in two parts. For the first half of the day, it's going to be about continuing to allow yourself to express, to learn, and to release as you redesign, reframe, and explore new sources of information and perspectives around what you're going to be doing in the future. There is a dual process of release and that triggering exploration. Questioning that triggers you to research, and expressing that allows you to expand your vocabulary, and not just in the sense of words, but in the texture and tones of your expression to yourself and to other people. And with that Sagittarius moon riding for most of the day, there is a lot of activity. There is a lot of tension. I would say that Mercury is still taking the star of the show, coming off of that conjunction with the sun. That Kanzimi energy is still reigning, and Mercury is still having us figure things out in different ways, in different places, with different people, through different lenses. And then when after a short void and the moon moves into Capricorn, there's going to be more of a serious energy of like, okay, I've explored and I've researched and I've considered and I've pondered, and now let me test how things work. Now notice that everything I'm saying, it really embraces the idea of flexibility, of allowing yourself to not become dogmatic or stagnant with what you're learning, but allowing yourself to gracefully embrace the process of deconstruction. And I say this because we have the moon in Sagittarius until 3:01 p.m. Then there's a void, and then the moon will enter into Capricorn at 9:54. And the Sagittarius moon is pretty busy, okay? There is a lot going on. We have the moon making a sextile to Mercury, some tension with Jupiter, a trine to the North Node, a semi-square with Mars, eliminator angle with Neptune, and a sextile to the Sun, and a square to Neptune, and an eliminator angle with Uranus. And so there is this tension between like what you're doing and what you're thinking and how you're expanding, with how you need to allow yourself to adjust. There's this tension between fire and earth. And so you need to allow yourself to like think and be mutable in how you're taking in information, and questioning when you're unwilling to learn something new, or if you're not letting yourself release an idea or perspective that is outdated and rooted in a philosophy and ideas that you inherited rather than intentionally developed yourself. And especially with the fact that we have Mercury in opposition to the nodes, Mercury is not done having us question things. And that's actually not a bad thing, right? I say to you guys all the time, a plan that can't be questioned is quite frankly not a plan at all. It's dogma. And so allow yourself to reconsider your sources of information. Allow yourself to consider the definitions. Ask yourself if the definitions that you've been using still apply for you. And if they don't, what are the ones that you do need to release? How do you deconstruct that embedded ideas of who you are and what you should be and how you've seen the world be released so that you can have a wider perspective? And that Sagittarius moon is really good for like kind of seeing the broad picture, but details come in later. And so let yourself go through that process again of releasing and creating, of learning and expanding and redefining in a way that's fluid and in a way that's rooted in your accountability and you developing your own authority. And so for the most part, we do have some really good energies. That irritation is inspired to help you expand. It's to get you uncomfortable enough that you're like, let me figure out what's really going on here and find out what that means for me. And then after that short void where we all kind of are like pondering the expansions of our mind, for better or for worse, when that moon moves into Capricorn later in the evening, there's a beautiful sextile to Saturn where there is this energy of like, it's you coming into your own fruition. It's you being the steward of your own dreams. It's you becoming the authority in your own emotions and allowing yourself to feel your emotions and allowing yourself to go deep and learning how to swim, sometimes without gear. You can deep dive into yourself and not drown. It's just a matter of practice. And so there is tension, right? There is an opportunity to get lost. There's an opportunity to have arguments. There's an opportunity to get lost in the emotions of things. But I do want to warn you that being emotional doesn't mean that something's wrong, right? Let that emotion inspire you to question. Let it inspire you to explore. Let it inspire you to learn, and then figure out what it looks like for you to be building a life that's built in authenticity and in line with what you believe is right instead of what everybody else tells you is right. I mean this on many levels. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you tomorrow.